Pregame.com. Pregame.tv, welcome back. Coming off a solid 3-1 week where we even nailed a two-team parlay with Oklahoma State and the under. Hope to do as well this week, if not better. Let's go to Thanksgiving NFL action. The mighty Flynn trying to save Green Bay's season. He's up against the much-despised Matt Stafford and the Detroit Chokers, who are suddenly laying 6. I'm here with Fire the Cannon, Brady Kannon, 2011 LVH Super Contest winner. Brady, take it away.
Well, we don't know at this point if it's going to be Flynn or Scott Tolzien, and this goes into the handicapping of this game and the Packers games for the last 3 weeks now. I mean, a lot of us out here in Vegas thought there was an over-adjustment for Aaron Rodgers in the line, but I'm not so sure if that's true anymore. I mean, how important is this guy to this team?
We just said 8 points versus Seneca Wallace, 10 points versus Tolzien, maybe 7 points versus a Flynn.
Yeah, I would say that's probably about right. I think initially we felt it was too much, and then it seemed to back off the other way a little bit. A lot of sharps were on the Packers this week.
Well, but, Packers are 0-4 against the spread, so if
last 4 games 0-4 against the spread.
So 8 points not enough, apparently.
Yes, exactly. They are not meeting expectations apparently, and coming off of a very disappointing game at home where they tie the Minnesota Vikings, and now you've got the Lions coming in, obviously off of a very big disappointment in their schedule as well, losing outright to Tampa Bay as a 9-point favorite. The week before that, losing to Pittsburgh. So something's got to give here on Thanksgiving Day.
A couple observation points. A guy I really like, Donovan McNabb, I believe I was expecting a tweet from him to say, boy, that's this Minnesota-Green Bay game, they're still in overtime, tied 26-all. They must be in the 5th overtime by now. It's when he looks at his sports option score. No, that is a final. It is a tie. About that McNabb.
Yeah, the college deal, right?
Well, he'd never been in an overtime game, so he didn't know that they could tie. It's like if there's, I'm sure if they asked me, like, what's the capital of Wisconsin, I might get one of those wrong. It's just for one reason, I just never have been to Wisconsin. As far as Detroit, the thing is, they lost in a driving rainstorm against the Steelers 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and they really outstatted them in that game.
And last week, talking about outstatting them against the rising pirate ship.
Yes.
They outgained them by 150 yards. I haven't watched the game yet. I don't know about the 5 turnovers, whether they were more bounce off the receiver's hands or just a donk fest.
One was incredible. Did you see the one towards the end of the game that really sealed the fate?
I know. No, Calvin Johnson dropped the ball, I heard? Or?
I'm not sure if it was Johnson, but the ball kind of goes through the receiver's arms, out the back door, flips off the defender's hands and right into the defensive back's hands. He goes the other way. I think he ran it maybe 20 or 30 yards the other way, but that was really the nail in the coffin.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the happiest 3-8 team in the history of the NFL. Incredible.
Got to hand it to them. They're doing well, and a lot of people were on Tampa Bay in our neck of the woods last week, and that one turned out to be an easy winner, pretty easy winner right from the start.
Very good. I want an easy winner on this game, though. Which way are you looking on this one?
We'll see. You ready to make it official?
You want to? I don't know where you're going. Go ahead and give me a little stat fact, and then we'll make it official.
Well, the Lions are 3-1 in the division this year. Okay, and the only game they've lost is to the Packers. So I see this as a revenge situation, okay? And I'm not a huge fan of revenge, especially in the NFL, but I think it means a little bit, especially when you're in division, okay? Now we've got, on the other hand, Green Bay, who is 2-1-1 in division, and as we just mentioned, those last 4 games have been really bad. This team is, while Tampa Bay is maybe surging, Green Bay is going down until they can get their leader back.
All right, I think I know which way you're going. I'm going to let you make it official here. I may disagree. Let's go ahead and make an official pick, though.
Okay, we're taking a look at Thanksgiving Day. The Detroit Lions, they're always there for this holiday, and today they're going to face the Green Bay Packers. They're laying 5.5 points at home. They're coming off of 2 very disappointing losses, both in which they outstatted the other team. First in Pittsburgh in a rainstorm, as we mentioned, and then secondly against Tampa Bay, where they had all the turnovers. So this team is playing pretty well, but the turnovers have killed them the last 2 weeks. Typically, turnovers will come back to the mean. That should average out in this game against the Packers, and we look for Detroit to get the job done here at home on Thanksgiving Day. Now, Detroit is 3-1 in the division, and they lead the NFC South at this point. They wasted an opportunity last week to increase that lead with the loss over Tampa Bay. Green Bay also squandered an opportunity getting the tie. We expect the Lions to take advantage of this situation today and get that win over Green Bay. Now, when teams win straight up, they typically also cover the spread, whether you're an underdog or a favorite. So we're betting that the Lions will not only win today, but they will also cover the 5.5. Now, if you look at some of the numbers, these teams are pretty equal. Detroit gains about 5.9 yards per play. The Green Bay Packers about 6.3 yards per play. And on defense, it's also about the same. So you would think, take the underdog in this position. But then you look a bit further and you find that the Green Bay defense is very poor against the running game. Okay? And on the other hand, Detroit is very good against the rush. And the Packers, we know they don't have a quarterback. We don't know if it's going to be Flynn or Tolzien this week, and I don't really care. Either guy is not going to be very effective throwing the ball. They're going to have to give the ball to Eddie Lacy and run it, who is not going to be able to run against a pretty stout Detroit run defense. On the other hand, Matthew Stafford, we know he can throw the ball, and if he can run the ball against a very porous Green Bay, bad rushing defense, this offense ought to have success. If they cannot turn the ball over, I think Detroit gets the W. They cover the 5.5. We're going with the Lions, minus 5.5. Happy Thanksgiving.
Brady Kannon all over the Detroit Lions. My power ratings actually like this play. Power ratings make the game 7. My big concern is a month ago, look ahead lines, I bet Detroit +3 in this game. And I talk about if it's Flynn, it should be like a 7-point adjustment. We flip the line around, we would only make Detroit -4. So I think you're getting robbed a little bit on the line because the Packers are 0-4 under the much despised Greg Tolzien. Against the spread, no one wants to play him, and that's why you're really playing into an inflated line. It's Thanksgiving football talk here, pregame.tv. Stay with us. We're going to be breaking down America's team, Dallas Cowboys, against commitment to losing Oakland Raiders. Stay with us, pregame.tv.